Hi, this is Tatiana Moroz, and you're listening to Journalistic Revolution.
Hello, fellow lovers of freedom. This is the Journalistic Revolution's weekly update. I'm your host, Robert Wasmund. I'm just getting back into the swing of things, and some of this may be old news, but I want to talk about it. So get over it, or stop watching the video. Please don't stop watching the video. Let's start with beating your kids. An Alabama school is sending home permission slips for corporal punishment. A pissed-off pacifist parent, Winley Shadler, took a picture of the permission slip. Right here. Whoosh. And as you can clearly see, she wanted this to happen about as much as an anarchist looks forward to election season. According to the Leeds City Public School policy, parents or legal guardians who do not want corporal punishment to be administered to their child or children must inform the principal of the school on an annual basis. But it seems odd to me that the decline response would be the one that is mandatory. Stop saving over my Skyrim. As in, it is assumed that you want them to teach your child that violence is an acceptable form of retaliation for behavior. I said stop saving over... Huh? Just my opinion, but shouldn't that be the other way around? Yes, you have a right to decide how your child is raised and even punished. But why would it be assumed that you want to assail your children? In more depressing news, the United States jails almost 3 times as many black people than there was jailed during the apartheid South Africa. That wonderful statistic comes from Representative Spencer Baucus's mouth during a subcommittee for the FBI. Baucus noted that the U.S. prison population lingered around 24,000 for most of the 1900s, until swelling to nearly 250,000 inmates in the 1980s, a staggering symptom of a failed war on drugs. With the U.S. locking up more of its people than any other country in the world and a price tag of $6 billion coming from you and me, I think this FBI subcommittee gets a shit we already knew award. What? What's that? Drugs are bad, okay? If prison systems were that bad, someone famous would be talking about them? Whoosh.
Well, my son is in federal prison based upon he's been a drug addict for a large part of his life and was selling drugs and was arrested and is in federal prison. And part of their punishments, if you happen to have a slip, and this is for a prisoner who is nonviolent, as about 500,000 of our drug-addicted prisoners are, they punish you. So in my son's case, he has spent almost 2 years in solitary confinement, and right now I'm being told that I cannot see him for 2 years. It's over a year now, and I'm questioning the system. Obviously, at first, I was certainly disappointed with my son, but I've reached a point now I'm very, very disappointed with the system.
Is that famous enough for you? If not, I have a picture of Miley Cyrus smoking weed. No? Okay, let's move on then. Hey, you guys remember when we were about to bomb this Middle Eastern country because they mighta, coulda, woulda, maybe, shoulda used chemical weapons against their own people, and other well-armed large countries weren't exactly happy that we were about to bomb them, and...
We can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Well, in an interview with Russia's Channel 1 network, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov condemned the U.S. over delays on UN resolutions for Syria chemical weapons disarmament, accusing U.S. officials of trying to blackmail Russia and the world into turning the resolution into an authorization for war against Syria. According to Lavrov, the United States threatened to pull out their support of the Organization for Prevention of Chemical Weapons if the UN resolution does not include a chapter that allows for military assault if Syria is seen not complying. Hell no, man, they just hate us for our freedoms. Second Amendment. Russia and China have repeatedly blocked resolutions that allows military action in Syria. They've also sent warships and supplies over into the area, but I'm sure it's nothing. And the U.S. had seemingly given up on the idea until Syria's ratification of Chemical Weapons Convention, CWC, opened up the prospect of a UN Security Council resolution affirming Syria's intent to disarming and offering international assistance. Triclosan. It's a synthetic widely used in personal care products. Around half the liquid soaps contain the chemical, as well as toothpaste, deodorants, cosmetics, liquid cleansers, and detergents. Yeah, you gotta kill them germs. It's fueling the development of resistant bacteria in our rivers and streams. Huh? So reports a new paper in the Journal of Environmental Science and Technology. Emma Rosie Marshall, one of the paper's authors and aquatic ecologist at the Carey Institute of Ecosystem Studies in Millbrook, New York, explains, the bacterial resistance caused by triacylglycine has a real environmental consequences. Not only does it disrupt aquatic life by changing native bacterial communities, but it is linked to the rise of resistant bacteria that could diminish the usefulness of important antibiotics. We knew it! Status viral outbreak. Artificial stream experiments conducted at Loyola University confirmed field findings that triacylglycine exposure triggers an increase in triacylglycine-resistant bacteria. In addition to the creation of these resistant bacteria, researchers also found a decrease in diversity of benthic bacteria and a shift in composition of bacterial communities. Most notable were a 6-fold increase of cyanobacteria and a dramatic die-off of algae. The only thing I understood was resistant, and when I go to the river, the slimy green stuff's not going to be there anymore. Rosie Marshall explains how these shifts could affect aquatic life. Whoosh. Cyanobacteria are less nutritious than algae and can produce toxins. In triacylglycine-polluted streams and rivers, changes in microbial communities can negatively affect ecological function in animal communities. No statist apocalypse? Down here in Florida, homeless people are smarter than you. Jesse Engel is homeless and he lives in Pensacola, Florida. He starts his day like any homeless person, wakes up from behind a building or squatting in an empty residence. He grabs himself something to eat and he walks himself down to the nearest park, in his case, Martin Luther King Park. And he goes down there to earn money. No, he doesn't juggle or anything. The park offers free Wi-Fi. And what Engel does is go down to the park and sit on his laptop all day watching videos to earn Bitcoin, the world's most popular digital currency. Hit me up, sponsors, huh? For every video he watches, he gets 0.00004 of a Bitcoin, or just under a few cents. And that's thanks to a service called Bitcoin Get that shamelessly drives artificial traffic to certain online clips. He can watch up to about 12 videos a day, which gets him about 6 cents. And he can beef this up daily with Bitcoin Tapper, a mobile app that doles out about 0.000133 Bitcoins a day, or just a couple of pennies, if he just taps on a digital icon over and over again. Now, of course, doing this isn't going to make him rich, but it's a nice way for a man who has nothing better to do to make some money. Since setting up his Bitcoin account just a few months ago, he's earned anywhere between 4 to 5 Bitcoins, or anywhere between $5 to $630 depending on the market. And he does actual work. He actually does odd jobs around Pensacola, but he still insists to be getting paid in Bitcoin because it's just easier and safer and he doesn't have to worry about being robbed. Jason King, founder of Sean's Outpost, where he learned about Bitcoin, had to say, whoosh, Bitcoin beats the shit out of regular money. We've resonated so well with the people because it's direct action. There's no chafe between donation and helping people. That could change as regulators in the U.S. put the clamps on the use of Bitcoin. Does the government hate homeless people? But for now, in the world of the homeless, it reduces the chafe in more ways than one. In more optimistic news, a Gallup poll says that 60% of Americans think the government has too much power. But while there's still people like Adam Kokesh, Rich Paul, and many, many others still in jail, I'm not going to hold my breath for an uprising. Speaking of Adam, look, I get that there's something going on in Kenya and Miley Cyrus twonked or whatever, and the government might shut down again, but my friend Adam is still missing. He was last seen at the address 1901 East Street in Washington, D.C. He does have a date coming up for court in October, and there is a rally planned that day, but Adam himself is pushing for jury nullification. You don't know what that is? Go to fija.org, that's FIJA.org, and learn about it. And here is audio of Adam Kokesh in a recently posted video by the Adam vs. the Man crew. Whoosh.
Jury nullification should be a natural and legal right. It is the dynamic counterbalance to the institutions of law.
Adam, I know you're an atheist, so I'm not going to say that I'm praying for you. But you are still on our minds, and we are still standing behind you, sir. If you like this video, subscribe here. And also check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website, all of the same name, Journalistic Revolution. This is JRev saying, don't look to be free in the future. Live free now.